Hi Judy, how are you? We have three of you on there. Who else is with us tonight? I'm good. I'm good. I don't know if you guys had all the wind today, but we had some, I think, a little bit of a tornado touchdown here. Hi Kathleen. Hi Linda. Because there were trees and everything down. I had to go out and I was crossing 59 and there were trees in the road and yeah, pretty weird. I'm just getting some of my tapes lined up here. So tonight I'm playing with Aall and Create. And if you've got the tutorial kit, you have two of the different washi tapes, fold rolls in your pack. You have the flamingo, which is this one here. Hi Dale, hi Judy. And then you also have, I believe it's this one, It Is Unwritten. And these are just gorgeous. Now, with these tapes, you can lie them, you know, so they exactly match. You can do it with a little bit of, you know, space in between. And then what you want to do is you want to rip it by your fingers because you don't want it even on the sides. So I'm also going to show you how I made this tag. Yeah, I was just putting our pizza in the oven. I made a pizza. I was just set to put it in the oven and our power went out. And I thought, oh, don't tell me that. I've got this pizza sitting with all the ingredients on it. And anyway, it was off for maybe 20 minutes. So that wasn't too bad. So I also put on the outside of your bags. Oh, so I should say, hi Michelle. In the kits, you got your stamp set. So you got a little stamp set like this. You got two rolls of tape, the flamingo and It Is Unwritten. And you also got your rub-ons. And then what you would get in the kit that you wouldn't get if you bought these things is that I cut out the backgrounds for you guys so that you can create your cards. So a lot of fun, and really, I mean, look how stunning that is. So I did give you card bases as well, so you can cut it 6.5 by 6, 12 by 6.5, because the base is quite big, I found. So I will show you on one of the pieces I cut. But I thought I would just do a couple with you. Very easy to do, very easy to play with. But as I said, you've got all these wonderful pieces cut out for you so that you didn't have to buy the die. Hi, Jennifer. How are ya? So, yeah, so this kit, I think we have maybe 2 kits left. So you get all of your cut pieces, and then I also did a larger one. Now, this would be a really big card because you would need a base even bigger than this, and my cardstock to make the background piece, I had to cut to 6.5 wide. So what I would suggest is the envelopes I gave you are 6.5. So I'm doing awesome. I'm having fun playing with all of this stuff. You know, it's my therapy. I don't have my goats anymore, so I got to rely on my crafting. So what I would suggest for this is creating a circle that size, matching it, and attaching it here, and then putting a score line so that this will flip open. Do you know what I mean? And then you would have the back. The other thing, I'm going to pull this forward a little bit without seeing me. The other thing would be to make it like an easel card. So you would cut your piece, attach it to the back, and then it would be a piece that could stand up. But we're going to put some tape on it. You know, why not? So you did get, I was saying, I did attach on the front the birds, which is really nice. And what was the other one? Or did you get hotline rings and I put It Is Unwritten? No, I think I put hotline rings on the outside of your bag. If you've got your bag in front of you, you'll be able to see what it is. But I think it was those two. Now, when I did this tag, I glazed it and then used my stamp in it. So, you know, I'm not going to be an hour showing and going through these cards, so I will do a tag up so you can see the process. Absolutely love these. Now here I did put a little bit more of the embossing powder on top, and then I did that to it. And you know, it's just super shiny. Can you see that? Super protected. So if you were putting this washi tape, let's say you wanted to put it on the outside of your folio, what I would do is I would cover it with the Ute, the ultra thick embossing glaze, which is the Diamond Rocks Clear with the Diane Reevely. So I was just trying to figure out what color it was I used on here, because I'm going to do another one. These are going in the store so people can see what, you know, what the rolls of tape look like, because they package them like this. There's no description, no picture. I mean, hard to sell a product like that. Hi, Sherry. So, you know, I figured if I had the tags and the name on the back, then everyone would be able to see, you know, exactly what the tapes are, and then they could pick them out. Now, I also, because this is Diane Reevely, of course, I have all the matching paint. So this green one, I'm going to paint the back of the tag green, and I do believe that this is the red, post box red. This green is the Island Parrot, and this one is the purple laid back lilac. So there are lots more colors. So the one I'll do tonight, I'm going to use pink flamingo, but I've already done my pink flamingo, so I'm going to use it on one of the other ones. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this. Lots of fun. So really simple. You know, as I said, I've done one already here. Now, the die that I used for this one is the Numberama. So you get both pieces in there, the back piece as well as your front piece. So one goes on top of the other. And you also get in here a set of numbers. So they're really cool to add and play with, especially like for the telephone one. You know, adding the numbers on there would be a lot of fun. Where did I put them? So you could cut out those numbers and then just even add them off your tag on the top. I'm going to put ribbon through there. You know, maybe some little charms off of there. Not sure yet, but I do have a really cool pink flamingo that I can put on here. Where is he? I'm working on charms as well. So I got everything going on here. Tomorrow is a full day in the studio trying to finish up projects. So so I did do one. I believe you guys have 5 that you can do, front and backs that I gave you, and then one of the large circle. So that was the die I used. And then for the large one, this one here is counting circles. So it is quite big, and then there are numbers in here with different things as well. And a different style of number in this one. I will add, it's not the same as the other one. And then also in your kit, you got your rub-ons. And all I did was I cut off little pieces of the rub-ons. Now, when you, oh great, that was not smart. When you order your kit, if you are ordering one, you'll see there's 2 line items for this product, and just put in Aall and Create, or put my name in Heather, and then all of my classes that I have listed right now will pop up. So there are 2 line items because I didn't have enough of the one rub-on, so I used another, but it's the same pattern, just a different coloring. They are great for scrapbook layouts. I mean, look at this on a layout. You know, even if you're not using the washi tape, having a photo in the center of there, it doesn't have to be a white background. You know, it could be whatever floats your boat. So let's get ready to do one instead of listening to me yabber dabber. So I have 6 different washi tapes in front of me. I have the It Is Unwritten, which you guys have. I have the Hotline Rings. I have the bird one, and I can't remember what that one is called. And then I've got the pink flamingo, and then I've got this one, which I absolutely love. Yeah, the circle die is really large, which is great. And then this one is Hotline Rings again, because, you know, I love it so much I got two. Yes, I did. So we'll put that one aside. And then I've got my little roller ball here. There is a stick in your rub-ons that you can use, but I have my roller ball because I find that that doesn't give me big indentations in my paper. You bought two bunny ones. Aren't they adorable? They are going to be so much fun to use on folios, and just love it. I've got stuff that I'm ordering from Hunky Dory, and some of it is rabbit, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, so this roller ball, we sell them in the stores. This is, if you're an essential oil person, that's all it is. I think they're $2.99 in the store, and then I just put some beads inside. It does have a cap as well. So that's all the tools you really need, is your stamp, your tape, and your background piece and your rub-ons. And you're able to create these beautiful little pieces. So let me grab this first. Now, if you owned, I'm sorry, I've got a project under here, so I put this on top because I was not moving it again. It's a 49 in market, and there's all little pieces, and I didn't want to bundle them and move them, so I just put this on top of it. If you own the die, or, you know, any of your dies, you can, you know, take a big piece of paper and put your piece down first, and then figure out where you want to stamp and add your rub-ons. Because I wanted you guys to have these and not have to buy a die, the whole thing about these tutorials is introducing you guys to stuff to see if you like it before you invest a ton of money. So wherever we can split up things like a paper pad or embellishments or anything like that, we do that to make these tutorials easier for you to buy and try. Buy and try, that's a good thing to call them. So you just want to make sure that all those little pieces are punched out before you work with it. So yes, it's definitely easier to work with a bigger piece, but it's not a problem working with this either. And I don't typically work with the glass mat, so you're going to hear my bracelets banging on the table, so I apologize for that. So I think you guys have It Is Unwritten, and I haven't done that one. So let's do It Is Unwritten, and we will put it on the background. So your tape actually is in 4 sections. So you've got, you know, you will see roughly where the next section cuts off. So on this one here, It Is Unwritten, I've got the bottom of the typewriter. So I am just going to tear my piece. And yes, it's going to hang over the edges. I'm not going to push that down yet because I will have to trim it. But I'm just laying it down. Now I'm going to take my fingers. I'm going to rip that piece off because I know it's going to be too big. So then my next piece is this tape actually is a little wonky. Yours might not be in this order. So yeah, Aall and Create. They're so much fun, and there's so much new stuff coming out. So now I have the top part of the typewriter. It's pretty easy to figure out what is what, and it is washi tape, so you can lift it off your piece. All right, so that's your next piece down. Then we've got, you can see 2 pieces of sunflower here. Oh, you know, I just fell in love with it when what they call it, layer something. So it's a, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, that is so much fun. And we do have a bunch more coming in. So I haven't pushed those sides down because I will cut them off. And then the last piece we've got is going to go up there. Now you can see, you know, maybe I want to bring it down a little bit more so that it's not, this one isn't going to give me a lot of room on this particular piece to do you know, add much to it. Let's put it that way. But we're going to put rub-ons and stamp over the top of it. But like I said, this tape, you can move it. So I want to actually move it down a little bit. It's too high. Now, if your roll, you don't like where it starts, then just cut that piece off and start it, you know, at the next whatever section you want. So let me put this one down a little further here. And now I can grab that one. And as I said, you can also leave a little space in between each one. If you want, like a gap, that's kind of cool. But this particular one, we don't have a lot of room on this particular die that I cut out. So we're not going to do that on this one. Maybe the other one will leave a gap and then you can see if you like it or not. All right. And then we're going to move this one down here. Oops. So it gives me a little bit more room to add more stuff on there. Now, I mean, I could even cut off a piece of the top of this washi tape if I wanted. So this one is this here. I mean, I could cut it down to maybe the start of the paper if I wanted, but I don't want. And you don't want to cut your edges, just rip them off. You want that rough looking edge on there. Any questions so far? So you did get your envelopes. I mean, the pack has got everything in there. And again, you know, they're a buy and try pack. And we're doing that with Diana and with Sherry so that you guys can have some fun. Okay, so with that piece having been done, I also have a cutting mat here. I don't like the sound. This mat is usually on my other table. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I think, is I'm going to add some stamp. So this is one of their little stamps here. We also have the collector's editions from Indigo Blue. Exactly, Sandy. So we'll do the next one with a little bit of gap in between to make it look a little bit different. So yeah, so you could actually, you know, stamp with one of these kinds on there, but we're going to stick with Aall and Create. And again, I do not have stamping block, so this is when you get creative with something else. So I don't want the big circle one. I'm going to go with a smaller one, and I'm just going to, you know, the nice thing with this kind of art is there's no wrong way and there's no right way. So I'm going to put that on. This is actually my sidekick plate, so I'm actually going to use that to stamp. So let me find my ink pad. Next drawer, Heather. And we will ink it up. Yeah, buy and try. Yes, Sherry, I know. We were short one for you, and we refunded you, but yes, they are coming in. So that is this one here. Okay, so I want to ink up my stamp, and I'm just going, this isn't the best thing. You know what? I can't hold on to that. I did find a block here. It's big, but it'll do the trick. It's easier. I like the blocks that have the grips on them. There we go. So I am just going to stamp, you know, wherever. I mean, you don't want to go like 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. You want to kind of just put it wherever you feel that you want one of these little splotches. You can use the other one as well. And maybe I'll put one of those down on an angle there. There we go. So I've got splotches on my card now. And now I'm going to do some rub-ons. And again, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that little piece will look nice over here. what else do I have here? I've got, you know, some larger areas here. But again, because this one is covering so much on here, I may want to just use smaller sections or even cut off a piece of this section. So why don't I do that? Let me cut off a piece on here. Like this. And let's stick it down. Let's stick it down over here. I'm going over my stamps. I'm going over my washi tape. I'm going to put it on an angle there. And I'm going to apply that. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm still going to want a little bit of white space. But I'm going to add, you know, these rub-ons on there. So there's a section of rub-on on there. But I don't like the way it's kind of jagged there. So I think I'm going to try and slip this word art on top of that one. Like maybe, I wonder if I want it on an angle. I'm going to put it on a little bit of an angle there. I'm going to put the word art off the edge of that. And it is a little bit skewed. You're not going to see the whole word, which is fine. So maybe now I want to just take some of these pieces off of here. So the second sheet of my rub-ons looks like this. It's just all these little strips. So I'm going to take some of those and I'm going to put them down wherever I want. If you have other rub-ons that you want to put on, let's say you've got a word you want to put in on that letter, or you can stamp on that letter, whatever. You know, there's so many options with this. And then of course you're going to have a sentiment. I'm just going around the edge with this one and just applying a little bit of it here and there, just using up these loose ends. And you know what? I'm going to put a piece right on top of that paper. Like that. Make that work. And one more little piece here, and I think this one is done. How easy and how quick and how stunning to do these cards. Now, I mean, once you add your background, look how pretty that is. Oh, it doesn't look nice against this background. You can see it a little better. Isn't that nice? I love it too, Darlene. They are just so much fun. So I will put this one on the back right now and get it out of the way. So the part that takes the longest, I actually have my black backwards, but that's okay. The longest part of it is actually cutting out the dies. And you can imagine it took me a couple of nights to cut them all out. And then I had all these little stinking pieces all over the place. So I do have more to punch out here. My background should have been the other way because it's got a textured and a smooth side. I should have been paying attention. So once you've got all those little pieces popped out, now we've got, now we've got this stunning piece. And this will fit on your paper, your envelopes. So I cut it 6.5 by 12. No, Scruff, get back. Back. Go. I'm going to spray you. Go. So this is 6.5. And I took the 12 inches. I folded it in half. Then, Scruff, no, please. Out, out, out. And then I trimmed off this side. So it's kind of a weird size, but it will fit in your 6.5 by 6.5 envelope. So it's 10 inches by 6.5 is what I did. And that worked out perfect, I think, for that. You know, you could always add even a little bit of your rub-ons along the edge there. I'm not going to use all mine up right now, but if I have some left over before I put it on the card base, I think that's what I'll do, is I'll incorporate a little bit of the rub-ons on the back there. So that's the first one. Now the other tape you've got, I love this flamingo so much. Now I've done a couple of the flamingos, and so let's try one. They are very cool. Very, very, very cool. And I have to tell you that these tags, everybody is loving it. Whoever I show these tags to, you know, Dan loves them, my sister loves them, I love them, everybody loves them. So I will show you how to do that. We're at 8:30, so we'll do the flamingo, and then maybe I'll show you that, and then we'll go back and do the big circle. Okay. So this one here, I said we're going to do the flamingo. So there's my textured side. So I've got the head of the flamingo here. Now this one's pretty cool because I can cut my tape quite a bit smaller. So let me just drop him down and rip and see where we go. We're going to leave that gap like a 16th. You're going to get my head for a second. There we go. Gonna leave a little bit of a gap in there. And then the next part of his body, little bit of a gap. Now I can stop there, really. If I wanted to have equal space up at the top and the bottom, because the bottom, if you look at the card I did, the bottom is the floral part, but you can leave it like that. But let's add the floral. And again, I'm down too low. So I got to bring it up a bit. To there. And especially with adding the gap in between, it's taking a little bit more space up. So let's take that one off. That's what I like about washi tape. It's so forgiving. And now you can see I'm really far over on this side, so I will end up losing part of him. I should have gone that way a bit more, but that's okay. So just the slightest gap in between. You know, maybe you want a bigger gap in between. I don't know, but it kind of gives it that funky look, which I think, you know, Aall and Create is all about funky looks. So I'm just going to take some of this off. You don't want to make it even. You want to make it, you know, kind of like that. Now this, I will lose his bum. You know what? I'm going to shift him over. You don't want to lose his butt, but I think I still will. Shift, shift, shift. Whoops. You know what? I think I'm really not a big fan of the glass. I have to tell you, because everything moves on it. I don't like that. And when you have a lot of rings, cheap rings I'll add, but still a lot of rings. I don't do gold. I'm not a fan of gold. I like silver. And I'm going to shift him a little bit. So there we go. So we've got a little bit better gap in between. Okay, so see how that gap is? Isn't that cool? So you can use your same stamp again, stamping in that background. This one's got some big dots. What else do I have? Got a big butterfly, but I think I'm going to put some of these dots on just so you can see something a little different. But you've got your great little stamp there to use. Get that out of the way. Don't know what this is going to look like, but we're going to play. We're going to see. So I'm only stamping part of it. What we don't want is that smoochy on the top. There's a little heavy-handed stamping. So I've stamped right on top. That ink is really juicy. This Hero Arts Intense Black is great for this kind of stuff. So you see how I've stamped on there, and I did stamp over the flamingo. And now I'm going to take my rub-ons again. And I think this time, I really like this area here. Whoops, with it being the pink flamingo, you know, this pink splatter here and this one I think would be great on there. And there's no set way on, you know, cutting this either. So this does have some script, which doesn't make any sense at all. Like it's words I don't know. So I think I'm going to put this one sideways with the script running down the side. My roller ball. Isn't it nice, Kathleen? I mean, you could pump out a whole bunch of cards, give a pack of 6 to somebody, you know, somebody's looking down, here's a pack of cards for you, you know, and tell me they wouldn't smile. And I don't know how many you get on a roll, but I can tell you there's quite a few. Okay, so let me lift that up. So it almost looks like he's looking at that big pink spot. Almost like you can make it like it, pretend it's a mirror that he's looking at himself in the mirror. And then I've got this R down here. I've got that white spot that it can go in there. And then this one I'm going to put on this side. So I've got my triangle of big rub-ons. And again, it's on the washi tape. Okay, so I've got that so far. And I'll put a few of those little lines on there. Just take a strip off. Put that on there. Wherever you think you want a little something, something, just add it in there. You know, the 49 and Market washi tapes would be so beautiful with this as well. Or not the washi tapes, the rub-ons. That's what I meant to say. And there we go. I think that's plenty good on that one. Let's find a background. And you can still, you know, take a little piece of white with a sentiment and add it on there. So I'm thinking maybe this is a little bigger than I would have liked, but that's okay. It's all about experimenting with it. So I'm going to show you how I do those tags if you're interested. If you're not, I guess you'll tune out, but they're really a lot of fun. So they are the Prima tags. This is what I was looking for, so I didn't have to listen to that glass rubbing. Move this out of the way. So I want to do the rabbit one because I don't have that one done for the store. So let me get this junk out of the way and we'll do that. Everything comes in the kit, Yvonne. You get your stamp, your rub-ons, your 2 washi tapes, plus I added on 2 extra ones on the outside so that you have a sample of 2 other different washi tapes, and all enough to do 5 cards. I cut the bases and the tops, 5 of those cards and 1 of these. And if you just do search Heather, you will see the classes there, tutorials for what I'm working on. And Dan's back. We're having a big garage sale this weekend, so if you're in the Norwich area, we are purging, I'll tell you. Okay, so I also have to do this one for the store, but I think I really like that rabbit, so I'm going to do that one. Okay, so the tags I'm using are the Prima tags, and these have actually a sticky front to them, so you could take that off. And I wondered what would happen if I, you know, experimenting, if I put the washi tape down and then I use the clear embossing on the top of it. Let me turn that fan off so I remember not to blow everything all over. If I put the glossy on top of that and then I, you know, put a color on each end, will the tape stick? And yes, the tape will stick. It did stick. All right. So that was a lot of fun. And the other cool thing here, I only put 1 coat because I wanted that bubbly look, but I can go back now and heat that and add more if I wanted. And then here, there's 3 layers in order for me to be able to stamp. So I'm going to use this one, I think. I'm going to use that one on this tag. Because I don't know where I put my number 1. And or I could use this one here. Why don't I use that one? This is out of my Diane Reevely stamp set. Okay, put it on top of that tag so it's not making as much noise. So what I did was I took off the paper and then I laid out my tape. So I said I want to do the rabbit. Now because this is sticky, what I'm going to do, no, actually I know the order it's going to go. I'm going to put that beside it so I can get a better idea of how far up to go. So the first one, of course, is this middle piece. That's why I'm saying you may want to cut off and, you know, have your tape start with the ears or the bottom feet and then work that way. But this is this section right here. So I'm going to put that part of the rabbit down. And as I said, I'm going to paint the backs of all of these tags when I'm finished. And then line that one up. And it's crooked, but that's okay. And it's really weird. Now I've got the ears, so I've got to rip them off in order to put the head first. And I love rabbits. I love sunflowers. So you're going to see I'm going to have a bigger section at the top, which is great. So it'll give me a good area to stamp in. And then this last piece I'm putting up here. So that one is like that. this is going to be filled in with the embossing powder. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to fold those to the back, out of the way. And what I want to do is I want to get the clear embossing on here. I'm going to take my trusty little squares of paper, and I need my embossing pad. And I'm going to stamp that middle section. And I'm going to take that clear and I'm going to pour that on top of there. Now I really didn't want it on that bottom section, but it's going to be okay because I'm still going to be able to add the other color on top of the clear. And put that in there, and I'm going to move that just out of the way for a second, and we're going to heat that first layer so you can see what happens. This is the heat tool. It's not the embossing gun. The heat tool is a little, the heat's more direct and it doesn't blow as hard, making everything go all over the place, but it's perfect for this stuff. So it feels like there's none right there. So what I want to do is I want to capture right in there. I don't think any of the embossing stuff stuck to it. That's exactly what I was afraid of. I've got to get rid of that one. Well, we're going to have enough now. Did that the other day. I was a little bit anxious and it wasn't coming out, so I squeezed so hard the whole thing blew out all over my top, all over me. Yes, this is the Tim Holtz heat tool. The Ranger heat tool. Is not an embossing gun. So you could see the crystals as I move down. I just love watching it when it melts. Now this is not your regular embossing powder. This is the Diamond Rocks. So these are tumbled, so the process for them is a little different. So it's chunkier, and it manipulates a little differently. With your embossing gun, you need to keep going round and round and round. With this, you can direct your heat right where you want it. Okay, so that's coat number 1. I want to get 3 coats on that. So let me put another layer on. And make sure it's nice and juicy this time. And the more layers you put on, the more it's going to be like glass. And when I was demoing this stuff last week, I showed you how you can also crackle this. So once it's on your paper, you can then take it and crumple your paper and create crackles. Yeah, you know what, Jennifer, I had a heat tool and I never used it and I got rid of it. And then I realized, you idiot, you need that. And so I had to take another one out of the store. Sometimes you just don't realize what some of these things can do for you. But I just love watching that melting. Melting. Now, you can, because this is the ultra thick, you can also embed things in here. And now what I should have done is grabbed one of my rabbit charms and I could embed it in here as well. So you would do it until, you know, you would do a couple of layers put a charm or a clip or a key, whatever you want, put it down, and then emboss some more on top of it, and it'll get sealed in there, which is cool. And it gets so glassy. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking maybe I want green on the bottom and then a pinky on the top. Or I could do all green on it. I guess the pink isn't really going to go with this one. So maybe I'll do it all green. Okay, so what I have, whoops, turn that off. Now you can see with 2 coats how glossy that is. But you can see it's still bumpy. So I do want to put 1 more coat on there. So let's do that. And bumpy's okay. If you want bumpy, you go for bumpy. You go, girl. But I want to put 1 more coat on there, and then we'll do the green and we'll be done. Okay, move this out of the way. These are those little parchment paper squares that they come in a pack in the dollar store. They're great for stuff like this. Alrighty, let's get that last coat on there. And then you'll see how super glossy it gets. You know, each layer you put on as well doesn't take as long because your project underneath is already warm, so that helps it heat a little better. Okay. Now look how glossy that is. Looks like glass. There are three kits, I believe, left. Okay, so up here, I want to do some green. So up here, I want my green heavy, so I'll do the 3 layers so that I can press in my stamp. The thing to remember with your stamp is that you want to, you know, tap it in this embossing pad because you don't want the heat ruining that rubber. So because this tag was sticky, it's not that sticky anymore. I was going to say you don't need to do this. You could just pour it right on, but because I've been heating it. Okay, so I'm putting the green along the bottom, and some of it has come up a little bit, so I can take that off. And let's heat that up. Now, this is where I'm going to make it one coat, and I'm going to make it bumpy looking. So I'm not going to keep the heat tool on it until it completely smooths out. I want to let it be bumpy. I'm going to let it go like that. But what I can do is I can add, because there is a little, oh, yeah, this is me working with embossing powder. What I want to do along that bottom is I'm going to do this. I'm going to put some of that on it. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the purple, laid back lilac, and I'm going to make some lines or circles or just sprinkling a little bit in there just to create something a little different. So what will happen is that's going to be up higher. So I want to kind of fill in that area beside it with the clear. So we're going to get kind of a different look to this. So we'll have the green and we'll have the purple in there. All right, we're going to give it a shot and see how we do. It's fun experimenting with these different things, you know. It's makes it interesting. Now again, I can leave it bubbly, or I can, you know, keep heating until the whole thing is smoothed out. I like the way this is looking. Okay, look at that. Look at how that purple is just added in there, so it's tying in, you know, some of this other color in there. Isn't that cool? So we're just going to finish that top section and we'll be done. So, ink it up. Powder. And away we go. These tags are nice to give to people. I have gifted many of my tags. I do a lot with Prima paper because I like to put them on my workstation on an easel because they make me smile. Just like when I was out today and I saw baby goats. They made me smile and then they made me sad. Okay, so I've got that ripply effect there, but I'm not staying with that. So I'm going to add, and I have come down a little bit with it this time. So there'll be one more coat after this, and then I will be stamping into it. Yes, I miss my babies, my boys, my goats. I don't like the fact that I was put in a situation that I had to rehome my boys, but they're in a good place. They're in Cayuga, and it's a nature school for kids. So they're having a lot of interaction. My boys were very social, so it's good for them. So you can see on here, my second coat came down a little further than my first coat. So this one is lighter, which is kind of neat. And so now I'm going to do that last coat. Whoops, it's really hot. I should have waited a minute. But we're all good. We're all good. So let's do this one. Yeah, lifted there a bit. So I need to heat. See, it lifted a little bit of it, but I'm melting it back in. Actually, I'm going to leave it like that because it looks like a dewdrop. So now while this is hot, I'm going to take that stamp and I'm going to tap it in my embossing ink first, and then I'm going to push it in. And push it in. Now, if it, isn't hot enough, can you see that on there? If by the time you get to this end it's not hot enough, all you need to do is just heat it a bit. And then go back in and touch it with your stamp. So that's complete. So it's got flowers up at the top. A little hard to see. There we go. And then we've got the rabbit. And then this section on the bottom, we did a little differently. So it's not as heavy as the top, but I was able to add some purple in there to create a really cool effect. Oh, thanks, Deb. Thank you. So that is it. That's all I have to show you tonight. So you're able to create 5 cards plus your large circle. We're right on 9 o'clock. So, take a look at which ones are the widest, and that's one you might want to use on this bigger one. And you can probably get away with using multiple stamps and different rub-ons too if you want. Take a look at that 49 and Market stash of rub-ons you have, and maybe you can add some of those into the backgrounds, like some of the ones that are the, we had them in the auction, the plum and all the different colored ones. You can add those in as well. I have a ton of them. I'm going to go through and I'm going to just create a bunch of these things because they're just fun. So that is it, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. We won't be live this weekend. Diana's up, what day is this? Tuesday. Diana's up tomorrow, and then there's no auction, no live on the weekend. It's Canada Day. We've got the garage sale. Diana will be in the store on Saturday. I won't be there because of the auction. Oh my gosh, garage sale. So, go in and visit Diana on Saturday, and then of course we're closed Monday for Canada Day. So that's all that's happening this week. We will get the calendar updated as well and posted. So you can see we've got lots planned for the month of July. So when it's too hot to be outside and you need to craft, they'll be ready. Thanks, Shannon. I appreciate that. So So have a good night, everybody. Stay safe and keep creating.